Welcome, crypto fam, to number one daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis. We'll also be discussing Rumble Wallet rolls out with their Tether USDT for creator payments. Let's go. We'll also be discussing crypto influencer Bitboy arrested in Florida. We all saw this coming a mile away. We'll also be discussing North Carolina bills would add crypto to the state's retirement system, as well as big news with the prime minister pushing for crypto growth in Pakistan, eyeing a $3.5 billion Bitcoin mining plan. I'll be breaking that down for you. Also, more breaking news, the big news of the day. GameStop approves a plan to buy Bitcoin as a Treasury reserve asset. They have roughly $5 billion cash just waiting to put into the bidding, and which is what Saylor's proposing they buy. We'll be discussing all this, also be breaking down the latest news and everything you need to know. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. But anyways, Biddy fam, if you're new to the channel, very important, smash the likes, go ahead, subscribe, ring the bell, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto newsletters every single day, 7 days a week, just like this. Today is pod episode 1945. I'm your host, JV. It's March 26, 2025. Major news. I'll be sharing with you two big stories. Prime Minister of Pakistan looking to start a big Bitcoin mining operation, so more Middle East adoption as the game theory continues around the world. Also, GameStop, a $5 billion company, one of the larger companies out there. They're going ham. They just made the announcement just literally a few minutes ago. They're raising like over $1 billion to purchase Bitcoin. But let's kick it off with our market watch. As we do each and every day, let's pull up Coin 360. You should be able to see here in your screen. It's crazy with all the bullish news. We're still in the red, but nonetheless, we're maintaining above 87,000 at the time of the live stream. Ether down 3%, just above 2,000. XRP in the red, BNB in the red, Tron, Leo, and Ton in the green. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at 2.84 trillion. We're back on the rise. The big market cap back on the rise again, 1.7 trillion. We got roughly 79 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours, with a Bitcoin dominance coming in today at 60.8%, back on the rise. Ether dominance back on the decline. Womp womp at 8.5%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got Maker leading the pack, up a modest 6% on the day, followed by Pepe, up 5%, followed by Curved Out token, up 5%. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the daily. And as you can see here on the day, majority of the market correcting in the red. I'd say 80 over 20, red over green. And zooming out on the monthly, similar, maybe 80-20, red over green, but pretty significant losses overall. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index. We're back neutral with a 47 on the day. Yesterday, 46. Last week at 32. And last month at 49. Neutral. And checking out the time chain calendar. We have 160,433 blocks until the halving of 2028. We're currently on block number 889,567. And you currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,146 sats. Pick up the sats, put down the gats, pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. And if you don't know, now you know, broskies. Here we go. Let's dive into today's TA. Headline reads, Bitcoin price just ditched the 3-month downtrend as the key shift begins. Here you're looking at a 1-hour chart, and I'll be pulling up the live charts here shortly after we get through this little analysis. So yeah, trading views showed Bitcoin heading below 87. Bitcoin copied U.S. stocks lack of momentum, with the S&P and NASDAQ both heading lower at the open today. The DXY, traditionally inversely correlated with the Bitcoin/USD, conversely nudged 3-week highs of 104.46, as you can see here in the U.S. dollar currency index. Commenting on the current risk asset landscape, trading firm QCP retained emphasis that President Trump's trade tariffs ahead of the fresh round of measures due to go live April 2nd next week. Quoting them here, uncertainty surrounding U.S. trade policy and the broader political landscape remains front of the mind. Trump has teased further tariff measures ahead of the April 2nd deadline. However, the market still lacks clarity on the scope, timing, and magnitude of these potential actions. But until then, we expect more sideways volatility, aka choppability. And also, the GameStop news, which is our feature story of the day. We'll dive into all the specifics later, but quoting them here, as the 2021 playbook reminds us, retail flows, if coordinated, have the power to challenge the institutional positioning. You damn straight. Now, continuing with the positive theme, Titan of Crypto had good news, sharing the Bitty price chart. After 3 months, he revealed on the day on X that Bitcoin escaped the downtrend, marking the latest in a series of recent reversal cues. Quoting him here alongside the chart, Bitcoin just broke out of the 3-month ascending channel, signaling a key shift in market structure. And as you know, we reached that all-time high. Price discovery day was January 20th, and we're already about to enter April. So the downtrend is over, according to the analysts. Let me know if you agree or disagree. And as David Bailey shared yesterday, the CEO of Bitcoin Magazine, we have so much news in the pipe, you are going to go numb from spamming super cycle and buckle up. So I reposted, buckle up, super cycle incoming. And if you don't know now, you know. And I promised to pull up some of the live charts. Let's do that right now real quick. And again, welcome everyone join the live stream. Roughly 400 people here live and in the flesh on our tri stream. This is the 1 minute chart. We've been very bullish here. We just recaptured 87,300 and we're back on the climb. I think the big news with GameStop is pumping the market right now. Zooming out, we'll check out the hourly charts. Big green candle forming, and prior hour big green candle. Prior to that, we had the red candle. 2 bear target scenarios, one sitting at 83.8 and a super bear sitting at Peter Schiff's house. And checking out the 4 hour, here we go. 4 hour chart. Let's see how we're looking. Wow, a lot going on here. Falling wedge followed by a rising wedgie. We have a couple of bull targets. The Super Bowl 113.7, which would take us to a new all-time high, clearly. And then we have the red target, which looks like we're sitting at 105.4, which would take us roughly 4,000 from price discovery. So we're looking bullish here, forming a big green candle on the 4 hour. Zooming out from there, we check out the daily. And yeah, so far, hard to tell, kind of. Yeah, I mean, similar to where we started. But we do have some green candles in the past couple of days, which is a good sign we're regaining our momentum. And zooming out, and we do have some targets actually on the daily. So we have one target sitting at 113 practically, and a Super Bowl at 113.7. And zooming out from the daily, take a look at a weekly. We've had this cup and handle target on the weekly chart going on at least 3 or 4 months. It's been here. When do you think we hit that 124,000 price action? Let me know. And obviously for the week, we finally had some bullish weekly closes, and it's a good sign. And zooming out from here, take a quick look at a monthly, and the chart says we're going up forever, Laura. When in doubt, just zoom out. But we'll see how March ends. Only a few days left before we put a bow, not only on the month of March, but for Q1 of 2025. Big news today. So here we go. Next, Rumble made a big announcement. Their wallet rolls out with the Tether USDT for creator payments. That's right. Canadian YouTube alternative Rumble, in which we're streaming live on right now. For those that don't know, we stream live daily on X, Rumble, and YouTube. One of the reasons we stream every day on Rumble is because they respect our First Amendment right of free speech. And I cannot say the same thing about YouTube, hence why we're here every day. But anyways, they shared that their CEO, Chris, shout out Chris, Rumble Wallet will be used for content creator monetization. Awesome. He promised it would work better than most advertisers and that it would use Tether's USDT. Tether CEO showed his appreciation for the initiative, referring to it as a wallet for the people. That's right. The announcement follows Tether investing $775 million in Rumble in late 2024. Their CEO said at the time that the company deeply believes in the fundamental values of freedom of speech and financial freedom. Shout out to I don't know how to pronounce that name. Is it Paolo? I would assume. But he's the CEO of Tether and obviously a big Bitcoin proponent. And it's pretty cool what they're doing here. It is one of the several major investments recently made by the $143 billion stablecoin issuer. Damn, 143 billion. Reports from 2024 indicated that Tether has the 7th largest holder of the U.S. Treasury securities globally, the 7th largest holder of U.S. Treasury securities. In February, Tether acquired a majority stake of Javantis FC, a major Series A football club based in Turin, Italy. And during the same month, the stablecoin operator sought to acquire a majority stake in South American Arab business firm Atacora. Man, it's rough to pronounce this stuff. Rumble also recently began investing its capital, acquiring over 17 million worth of Bitcoin earlier in the month. The firm announced its new strategy late 2024 when it voiced its intention to spend up to 20 million, adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Let's go. Rumble was founded in late 2013 as a YouTube alternative for small content creators. The platform saw a significant influx of users from 2020 onwards once all the bullshit censorship. You know what brought me to Rumble personally? After they canceled the Tates. I'm like, shit. I saw the only platform they were streaming on after they got canceled from YouTube and everywhere was Rumble. And that's why I actually went over to Rumble. And I would dare say many of you went over to Rumble, maybe for a similar reason, or maybe when they canceled me for no good reason. And then, they falsely terminated my account. And then they eventually gave it back. But that's why we personally started streaming on Rumble. Now, Rumble's foray into the U.S., venture capitalists backed the platform, including current U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and former CEO of PayPal, Peter Thiel. At the end of 2021, POTUS Trump-linked Trump Media and Tech Group announced a partnership with Rumble, which should deliver video and streaming for Truth Social. TMTG continues to align with service providers to do not discriminate against political ideology. Therefore, I have selected the Rumble Cloud to serve as a critical backbone for ultimately the Trump infrastructure. Now, in 2022, Trump's social media platform, Truth Social, and by a show of hands, how many of you actually use or have ever used Truth Social? I'll be 100% transparent. I've never been to it before. And typically when I see the Trump posts that are screenshotted from Truth Social, they're posted on X. So I'm curious how many of you use it. Now, Trump's CEO for their company, Devin Nunes, said at the time Truth Social and Rumble took a major stride towards rescuing the internet from the grip of the big tech tyrants. The partnership between the two companies grew stronger as time went on, and in 2022, Truth Social joined Rumble's ad platform as its first publisher, and this year, TMTG joined Rumble in a lawsuit to halt alleged censorship in Brazil. Good for them. I like to see that here personally. But anyways, next story of the day, let's dive into Bitboy being arrested. We all saw this coming a mile away. You can tell mentally he hasn't been all there. I don't know if it's due to drugs or whatever, but it's pretty sad to witness, to say the least. But we all knew it was coming. You can't just make threats to judges online and expect them to not do anything about it, which is precisely what he was doing amongst threatening other people. I know he doxed Mr. Wonderful, sharing his number, encouraging people to spam it. This is all illegal type stuff. So let's dive into the Bitboy saga. It says, crypto influencer Ben Bitboy Armstrong arrested in Florida. Why is this even relevant? Well, at one point, previous cycles, he used to be the biggest. Bitboy Crypto was the largest crypto channel, and he was one of the largest streamers with the biggest audience. And then he's been going through a lot of, I guess, for lack of a better term, rough times. And let's just get into it. Ben Armstrong, also known as Bitboy, has been arrested in Florida after disclosing on social media just days ago that a warrant was out for his arrest. Florida's Volusia County Division Corrections listed Ben as a fugitive from justice who was taken into custody yesterday, March 25th at 7:18 p.m. Days prior, Ben said in a post that he could confirm that the warrants for my arrest were due to sending emails to Cobb County, which is the police department. Georgia Superior Court Judge Kimberly Childs, while acting as his own attorney. And not a good look when you start sending threatening emails to a judge. I mean, what do you expect is going to happen? Bitboy posted on the 22nd, I can now confirm warrants for my arrest are due to me sending emails as my own attorney, by the way, to the dishonorable Kimberly Childs. And I also heard speculation she deleted her Twitter, which he confirms here. Yeah, she deleted her Twitter because she probably feels threatened. You just doxed her, and, a lot of people follow this guy, so maybe she's getting threats. I don't know. But anyways, he claimed Judge Childs deleted her social media accounts due to the emails. Information on Armstrong's lawyer was not immediately available. Well, they said he was representing himself. Armstrong could not immediately be contacted for comment. Here's the infamous mugshot. And again, a sad day in crypto, if you're to ask me, but I believe this guy had it coming. You can't act this stupid and expect no consequences. And he's been doing it for quite some time. Anyways, his previous arrest was September of 2023. I'm sure many of you watched that live stream. Well, he was outside of a former business associate who he allegedly had possession of his Lamborghini. He had a mistress in the whip, and it was probably the craziest live stream I've ever witnessed. Let me know if you saw that piece of history. It was crazy. Armstrong has faced other legal woes. He was named in a class action lawsuit claiming he promoted Binance, but then again, virtually everyone promoted Binance. So, which the suit also claimed he sold unregistered securities. That sucks. Yeah, he's also known for being a drifter and selling a lot of shit coins, unfortunately. That's why a lot of people don't have many positive things to say about him. A lot of people lost money following his ill advice. The case was later settled in August of last year with Armstrong and his co-defendant, NBA star Jimmy Butler, agreeing to pay a combined $340,000, I guess, for the lawsuit selling the unregistered securities, promoting Binance with no admission of wrongdoing. And then in early 2024, Bitboy fought synonymous meme coin developer More Light at a fight night. Oh yeah, he's also like an undefeated fighter now. Ironic enough, I obviously don't follow all this, but I do follow the news. And it was kind of crazy because he was fighting like in some, I think it was called karate combat, where they have the influencers fight. And in between rounds, he had an inhaler. It looked like the man was about to have a heart attack. I just felt bad for him, more so than anything else. But then again, he probably made a shit ton of money fighting. I know one of his sponsors was Andrew Tate, believe it or not. And but I digress. Armstrong managed to come out on top of the encounter and was declared the victor by unanimous decision. Well, I can tell you this. I watched one of the rounds. He doesn't know how to fight, but he still won. But then again, it's an influencer fight. Meanwhile, the parent of Hit Network, which controls the Bitboy crypto brand, cut ties with Ben in August of 2023, citing alleged substance abuse, in which he admits in his own words, addicted to Adderall, amongst other, narcotics. Armstrong denied the allegations at the time, claiming the move was an attempted coup. And again, it's been sad to witness. It's been entertaining. But let me know if any of you guys even follow this dude. And what are your thoughts? I'll read them out loud. Happy 444. But anyways, next story, we discussed Bitboy's infamous arrest. And again, it's very unfortunate. But at the same time, shit, I mean, what do you expect when you act a fool? Next story, North Carolina bills would add crypto to the state's retirement system. That's right. You should be able to see here on your screen. North Carolina lawmakers have introduced bills in the House and Senate that can see the state's treasurer allocate up to 5% of various state retirement funds into cryptocurrencies, such as the pretty little bitty going up forever, Laura. The Investment The Investment Modernization Act, House Bill 506, introduced by Representative Brendan Jones, March 24th, would create the Independent Investment Authority under the state's treasury to determine which digital assets would be suitable for the inclusion into the state retirement funds. An identical bill, the State Investment Modernization Act, Senate Bill 709, was introduced into the state Senate yesterday, March 25th. The bill defines a digital asset as a cryptocurrency, a stablecoin, or an NFT, or any other asset that is electronic in nature and that confers economic, proprietary, or access rights. The North Carolina bills don't set market cap criteria for digital assets, unlike crypto bills that are working their way into the law at the state level. Now, the newly created agency, dubbed the North Carolina Investment Authority, would, however, need to carefully weigh the risks and reward profile of each digital asset and ensure the funds are maintained in a secure custody solution. Bitcoin legislation tracker Bitcoin Laws noted that the House Bill 506 was drafted as a Bitcoin Reserve Bill, as it does not mandate the investment authority to hold Bitcoin or any digital asset over the long term. Now, on March 18th, North Carolina Senator introduced the Bill Reserve and Investment Act, Senate Bill 327, which calls for the treasurer to allocate up to 10% of their public funds specifically into Bitcoin. The bill, introduced by Republican Todd Johnson and Brad Overcash. What kind of fiat-ass name is that? Brad Overcash. And I'll take Bitcoin over cash, please, for $500. And Timothy Moffitt aims to leverage Bitcoin investment as a financial innovation strategy to strengthen North Carolina's economic standing. The Treasury would need to ensure that Bitcoin is stored in a multi-sig cold storage wallet and that the Bitty could only be liquidated during severe financial crisis. The bill would also create the Bitcoin Economic Advisory Board to oversee the reserves management. And according to the Bitcoin law, 41 Bitcoin reserve bills have been introduced at the state level in 23 states, and 35 of those 41 bills remain live. And earlier in the month, President Trump signed that executive order to create the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and a digital asset stockpile, both of which will initially use cryptos forfeited in the government criminal cases. Criminals, yeah, big news coming out of the Middle East. Pakistan in particular here. Let's start with this tweet. The Prime Minister of Pakistan held the government meeting where he discussed investing $3.5 billion, that's not chump change, into Bitcoin mining, the next global reserve asset. And this was reposted by Max Kaiser, and it actually got my attention. And I found this article a little earlier, which was published maybe 10 hours ago. So let's break her down. In a move that signals Pakistan's intent to embrace the future of digital finance, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif recently led a high-level discussion of integrating the Bitcoin mining and real-world asset tokenization into the national economic framework. Let's go. The meeting, attended by key government officials and global blockchain leaders, explored strategies to establish a $3.5 billion Bitcoin mining infrastructure while leveraging blockchain tech for economic transformation. The session was graced by Finance Minister Muhammad and IT Minister Shahzad and the State Bank of Pakistan Governor Jamil, alongside executives from renowned blockchain firms such as the Genesis Group and Polymath Canada. Industry leaders detailed the roadmap that could propel Pakistan to the forefront of the crypto-friendly nations, unlocking new revenue streams and attracting foreign investment. And speaking of the Middle East adoption, a few weeks back, we also shared breaking news that Abu Dhabi, over in the UAE, I believe it's the capital out there, they announced having roughly $500 million in their, what is it called? Like one of their wealth funds, like strategic funds. So adoption is happening. Discussions revolved around tokenizing real-world assets, including real estate, commodities, and securities to enhance transparency and accessibility in the financial sector. Experts highlighted how asset tokenization could revolutionize Pakistan's economy by increasing their liquidity, reducing fraud, and simplifying transactions for the local and international investors. So, will this be a game changer for Pakistan with the potential to generate billions in revenue? I'd say so. Bitcoin mining is being considered a cornerstone of Pakistan's digital strategy. Representatives from the Genesis Group, the global leader of crypto mining, outlined how the country's energy resources could be optimized to support sustainable mining operations. Policymakers emphasized the need for regulatory framework to ensure compliance while fostering a favorable investment climate. Also, the Prime Minister directed the Pakistan Crypto Council to collaborate with industry leaders and propose a concrete plan for deploying mining infrastructure and asset tokenization initiatives. And additionally, he underscored the urgency of formalizing crypto regulations to position Pakistan as a blockchain hub in South Asia. Let's freaking go. So as you already know, game theory in full effect. All right, fam. Now for our featured story of the day. GameStop approves plan to buy Bitcoin as a Treasury reserve asset, and also breaking news just in as we're live. Breaking: GameStop to raise $1.3 billion in convertible note offering to buy Bitcoin, which means they're following in the Saylor put, which means they're most likely going to purchase $1.3 billion with their $5 billion in capital, which is just like a melting ice cube. What do we call those folks who like to hoard the fiat at the banks? You guys know. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, let's break this baby down. This is huge. GameStop preparing to add Bitcoin to the balance sheet as a Treasury reserve asset. And again, breaking, they're currently announced raising $1.3 billion for their first acquisition. The video game retailer, which became a viral sensation amongst retail traders in 2021, just announced its board has unanimously approved the move. And they're making fast moves here. In the new SEC filing, GameStop says the move is a part of the firm's strategy to use this liquidity to maximize shareholder value. On March 25th, 2025, we announced as part of our revisions to the investment policy, the board approved the addition of Bitcoin as a Treasury reserve asset alongside the US dollar denominated stablecoins to diversify the company's investment portfolio. A portion of our cash or future debt and equity issuances may be invested into Bitcoin. We have not set a maximum amount of Bitcoin we may accumulate. I repeat, we have not not set a maximum amount of Bitcoin we may accumulate. Why? Because the more the merrier. And we may sell any Bitcoin we may acquire. GameStop, which has about $4.76 billion in cash, is following companies like MicroStrategy and Tesla. That's right, we call it the sailor put. CEO Ryan Cohen hinted at his plan for months. You guys saw the photo with the CEO of GameStop and Sailor. In fact, it's the thumbnail of today's stream, announcing a 6% bump of the company's stock price. That's right. The company's stock has been surging off the back of the announcement, as it should. And this is the big news of the day. Now, Max Kaiser shared his insights. Shout out to the high priest. He put, MicroStrategy is strategic. GameStop is nasty in a good way. The Wall Street guys are insurrectionists and chaos agents. Their motivation isn't bringing perfect money to the masses. They want to crash the global economy and the old ways for the laughs. It's beautiful anarchy. I dig it. Respect. And Max knows what he's talking about. And here's a brilliant post from Luke Broyles. I'm going to read it to you. GameStop has adopted Bitcoin, and FYI, this was also reposted by Max. A $26 billion opportunity for GameStop, $10 billion in inflow for Bitcoin, incoming media craze for the retail. Here are the facts, Jack. 11.4 billion market cap, 4.8 billion just in cash, and the 1531st most valuable public company on the planet. Everyone remembers the infamous GameStop squeeze in January of 2021. We may be starting round 2, folks. Let us assume they're adopting the pre-low bidding in order to force their stock price up as much as possible. Therefore, they want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. Assumptions. Number 1, deploy 4.8 billion into Bitcoin. Number 2, raise another 2.2 billion to buy Bitcoin. Number 3, average purchase price of 120,000 per coin. Congratulations, all the Bitcoiners watching this. You got to front run a $5 billion company. Kudos to you. That would result in 58,333 Bitcoin. Now, GameStop, go home and get your shine box. For context, that is close to a 3x of Coinbase's and Tesla's stack combined, broskies. And when Bitcoin is 150 G's per bitty, that is 8.75 billion of Bitcoin. And assuming a 3x MNAV, similar to MicroStrategy, that would be $26.3 billion market cap. Now, effectively, they could increase their current share value by 2.3x from these bitty buys, or approximately $60 per share. And when you combine the short squeeze narrative along with the Bitcoin narrative, you get a massive combination of the catalysts for upwards momentum. Could we potentially see a future where GME and MicroStrategy gap up and up, squeezing shorts as Bitcoin ascends higher? If $60 is the justifiable share price, and if they get 58,300 Bitcoin at a MicroStrategy level, multiple, while the rough January 2021 mania top was in the 80s, how much higher could GameStop go? A justifiable 2 to 3x in their stock price via Bitcoin is the fastest way to get a 5 to 10x pump via a mania. I think the groundwork for a massive media buzz around Bitcoin companies is coming. It may even dwarf 2021's GameStop craze if Bitcoin goes high enough. Now, second half of 2025 is going to get crazy. Here are the key takeaways. Number 1, if GameStop does adopt Biddy, their share price could easily 3 to 4x. By the time Bitcoin doubles, even if their cost basis is 50% higher than today's. Number 2, this would be a massive social media narrative bringing retail attention to the Biddy. And 3, this is evidence. The altcoin cycle is dying. The altcoins of the future to bring in retail are not XRP, Ethereum, or Cardano, but instead MicroStrategy, GameStop, Scientific Similar, SMLR, and MSTU, etc. Number 4, if you want to gain exposure to the upside of the GameStop saga without the counterparty risk, you should own some self-custodied Bitcoin. And while GameStop will get lots of Bitcoin, you get exposure to all meme stocks with Bitcoin exposure. Best of both worlds. Number 5, I expect Bitcoin volatility to transition from boom bust to stair step, and companies will take the place of the altcoins in the boom bust cycle. Careful gambling and register securities, even if you're smart enough to not have or to have unregistered securities. The kind of demand is the Trojan horse, this kind of demand for the retail. They feel too late and too poor for Bitcoin, but because of unit and anchoring bias, they will ape into shares of meme companies. We have less in common with the future than the past. Pump it, GameStop, rocket ship to the moon. Let's motherfucking go. So that's the major news, family. Let me know your thoughts on that, and how do you feel this will impact the Bitcoin price moving in to the second quarter of 2025. Holla at your boy.